Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Charles did very good this episode. Very good. He didn't talk. All he did was dropped his wife off at the vault, picked her up. She mentioned him in a bad light, but even Portia mentioned him in another bad light. But he did good. Production, let's not ever mic Charles up again. Oh, but there was one good light he was mentioned in when Shamia brought in the olive branch in the olive bottle, and Angela said, "Oh, this is Charles's favorite olive oil." Even though Shamia was like, "Well, I don't want you to cook with it because that branch came from outside, probably when the gardener was out there mowing the lawn all loud, where she couldn't even hear herself think out there with her sister, trying to let her sister hear her song." But baby, yeah. So let's get into it. Welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade. Thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki, honey, and ha ha, and get into another episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's season 16, episode 4. The title, The Vault. Besties, do we like the title of this episode? I mean, it just gives you a location. Not a big deal. But I like some other things. I like when Kenya said, peasants cannot come for a queen. I like that. And I kind of like what Britt said, you gon' be respectful. But that can't be a title because you need the emphasis on you gon' be respectful. So maybe we'll go with peasants cannot come for a queen. I'll make that my thumbnail. And besties, how would you rate this week's episode, child? Um, I'm gonna give it a good old 9. I'll give it a 9. It was given what it was given. Looks like next week's episode will be the last time we see we see Auntie Kenya. We didn't have Auntie Cynthia on this episode, so no bad wigs and no bloatedness. I'm gonna guess, why is she plump? She must be in love with the new guy. You know what? I heard that she revealed who he was, and I didn't even look. I'm assuming I don't think he's black. I'm not sure, but I'll let you guys know. I'll look into that. Um, but bestie, since you're here, welcome. Thank you. Be here. This is a good place for you to be. If you're going to stay, you should stay. You're going to laugh. You're going to kiki. Listen to me while you're driving, cooking, cleaning, or just whatever. And go ahead, drop down in the comments, honey, and let me know what you thought about this week's episode. Please be respectful of others and myself. Talk about what your views are. Don't talk about what you didn't like about what I said. I only can tell you what I said, what I see on my TV, and this is my channel. But please like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure your notification bell is on so that you know each and every time I post my content. Now, baby, I got plenty of notes. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Kelly said in Watch What Happens Live, honey, that she never saw a receipt from Drew. All that Drew showed her on this episode was a back and forth with one of the salespeople from Balmain. Okay, wow. But we'll get into that, okay, because I got something else to say about that. Okay, so Kenya will be her outro is next week. Okay. So let's start at the top of the episode. Angela. Okay, it's season 4. Sorry. Episode 4. And now that I'm kind of getting into the groove of the show, I thought that maybe it'll take about 3 episodes to kind of figure everybody out. And it probably did. But now that it's episode 4, I can say, okay, this is a good little shakeup of the cast. I keep trying to figure out how Phaedra is going to come into this fold of women. Of course, she's going to flock to Portia. They'll be freaking frack. And that's probably gonna even separate Shamia and Portia even more. Especially when we thought they would come on here and they would be freaking frack, the new freaking frack, right? But oh girl, I don't know. Portia keeps showing us how jealous she is, and she cannot refrain from that on these cameras. The cameras are catching her looks, her stale looks, her bitter looks, her just and the things she say, right? We'll get into that. So my take is Kelly, I like her. And maybe because she's a Pisces too. But see, Cynthia's a Pisces. I believe her birthday is a day before mine. She's February 20th. I'm February 21st. And I've even met Cynthia. Remember when she came out with her eyeglass wear? I met her in Atlanta at the Bronner Brothers hair show. And it was in February because I went for my birthday to celebrate my birthday in Atlanta with some friends and my cousin who lives there. And I met her there at the hair show, and I bought a pair of her shades. I still wear them. They still great shades. So we talked about our birthdays. And so Kelly is a March Pisces. And so there's a difference, honey. There is a difference. Pisces, if I got any Pisces on here, put your fish in the air, wave it around like you just don't care. Okay. So I like Kelly. She reminds me of little Kim. She's so tiny. I'll have to look her up. She's 5 feet. And that's it. No inches. Because I'm like, she is so little. She's so short. Like, she is short with all the ladies. She is 5 feet. She's little. Okay, so Britt, she's a newlywed. She is in love, honey, and all she can say is my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband. That's fine, but ooh, girl, girl, bring it down. But she admitted she don't have friends. She sticks with her sisters and her family. But you need to bring that down just a little. She's okay. I just wonder why she talks the way she does. Sound like she has a sinus infection. It's like her nasal canal. Is she storing snot and and all the mucus? Is she just storing mucus in her canal? Because she talks like this. Even her sister teased her at the table. So then we have Angela. I'm starting to get into her. I kind of was like, she's really tall. And her nose is very the Jacksons. We're going to call her Angela Jackson. I think that's what I'm going to call her, Angela Jackson, because she has done something to that nose. Okay, so we just got nose, nostril canal, and short. I can dig it. And if we're going to consider Shamia new, rich. But she seems so balanced. Shamia just seems so well balanced, like she can get along in any setting and just, she's not overbearing. She's interesting. So anyway, okay, let's get into the episode. I just want to say that that's my take on these people. Okay, I can dig it. My other thing. I'm just trying to figure out, we need, in my mind, we need Kenya, because Kenya is the one that's going to ask the questions. See, the thing about Phaedra, she's going to ask the questions and be shady in her confessionals. But is she going to be confrontational like Kenya? You need that in this group. Somebody else is going to have to be that person. May it be Portia or Drew, or maybe we'll get more Cynthia. I don't know. Auntie Cynthia. I don't know. Okay, Let's start it off. Angela and Britt, they meet at a park to take a stroll. Britt brings her dog Mimosa in a stroller. Girl, it's supposed to be hot. Britt's weave, your leave out was sticking out, girl. Where is the the headband, the weave band, and the hat? Why are you leaving out your hair? Is it because you want to pull your hair back in a ponytail? Okay. So anyway, they talk about their family dynamics and they kind of had the same thing going on. So Angela's sister and her, they're not really getting along, and their mother is in the middle of the mess. And also the mom and Charles, they don't really get along because they had an argument about cleaning up. And even though they apologize to each other, Charles has not moved on. He can't let it go. He revisits that street all the time and he can't let it go. And that says a lot about his character because I don't know if you guys knew last week when they talked about how he can't come into the Madison Square Garden anymore. It's because he got into a fight with security. He got into an altercation with security, I believe. And the owner of the Knicks banned him from coming in the Madison Square Garden forever. Okay. Okay. So Angela takes care of her family. And of course, most of that money comes from Charles. So it's hard because she has to ask and he got to complain. You know him. We know how he is. And so Britt has a similar problem, but with her sister asking for money. And so when Mike gets involved, when his money gets involved, right, then it's her sister saying, "Oh, he trying to be my daddy." And it's like, well, maybe because Mike is trying to be Britt's daddy too. He tell her when to come back to the table. She go out to dinner with her sister. He calling, come back home. Like the girl is on a strict curfew, okay? So we learned that Britt has two sisters. She's the youngest, and the sister that we meet later, and the sister she's talking about is Cher, and Cher is the middle child. And you know what they say about the middle child, right? I'm not getting into that. Don't get mad at me. I didn't start it. How do I know? I'm an only child. So, they say they be the ones with all the hangups because they don't know where they fit in. They're not the youngest, they're not the oldest, they're the forgot about child. And then they have more issues than the other two. Allegedly. So all three girls are daddy's girls, right? So that there in itself can probably mean good or bad. But to me, it sounds like they competed for his love and whatever. But maybe not. Maybe they all love that, they was able to share their dad. So being that Britt is the youngest, I doubt that. But anyway, so she tells us when her dad went to glory, he was just sitting on the couch and then he just developed this blood clot and he didn't survive, right? He never recovered from it. So Cher, the middle child, she took his passing away the hardest and she hasn't really gotten over it. So Angela tells Britt that she's gonna have a dinner that weekend, and she is going to invite Shamia. Let me get my water out because my teeth won't let my words come out. Okay, there we are. So Angela's hoping that her and Shamia can move forward. She's like, she's good with her. Let's just move on. Britt says, Shamia is nice and warm and welcoming. She said, I just can't believe y'all have issues. So Britt is like, my issue is with Kenya. And she describes Kenya as she's nasty, nicey. And I'm like, baby, if you go if you gonna quote Miss Chalet's songs, it's called Nicety. All you have to do is say nicety. You don't have to say nasty, nicety. But it's okay. It's 2025. Let's remix the song. Why don't we? So she says they tried to talk about this at Kelly's event, last week. But, Kenya was still being snooty and being stuck up. And so Britta's like, I could be like that a little bit too, but I mean, goodness gracious. And so she said, when I see her this weekend, I'm gonna be cool with her, but this is her last time to act a donkey with me. Or if not, I'm on her ASS. Please believe it, believe it, believe it. Um, Shamia's been in the studio too now, y'all, but not with Dent, but not with Dennis, honey. She got her own producer, some other producers that are in the ATL. Drew, get into it. But her song, this is Shamia's song, and it sounds really good. Her sister comes over. She's in the backyard, lounging by the pool, has a bottle she wants to celebrate. But next door, the gardener is mowing the lawn and it's loud, and she just like, ugh, we should have bought that property too next door. And it's like, you got this $9 million mansion. It just seems like you're in Atlanta in the South. Why is the grass to your next door neighbor's house so close to your house? That's regular people living. I mean, you in the South with all that land. Why are they so close? So, nevertheless, her song is called Never Had. That's the name of her song. And it really sounds good. But I'm a what is did I hear auto tune? Like, why are we still using auto tunes? Anyway, let's move on. So Shamia lets us know, honey, she's been singing all her life, honey. She was singing in church over there at the Church of God in Christ. She's been in two different groups. One of the groups was with Carrie Hilson, but she never got her shot. So um, she's talking to her sister. She cannot believe that Angela invited her to dinner. She said, because I wouldn't have done it. But she's like, let me get on my phone, get on Instacart, and buy me some olive oil because I'm going to extend the olive branch. And so Shami is like, I advocate for sisterhood and, sisters getting along and all this and all that. She's like, I can't be acting like this. But in her confessional, she gonna talk about being a smooth criminal. Here we go with the Michael Jackson reference to her nose. She said, I just apologize for telling her she looked like Latoya Jackson, but I just was a smooth criminal how I said that, like your nose is mine. I was like, no, we did not. Now she's referencing to the song The Girl Is Mine by Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. I'm like, Shamia. She like, your nose is mine, mine, mine. Your nose is mine, mine, mine. Okay, you can't be acting like that, Shamia. So Portia meets with her team because honey child Cinderella had to wake up, honey. She had to go and erase wife off her resume, and she got to get back in her bag, honey. So Pampered by Portia is her main focus right now. She needs her money. She was trying to retire at 40. Portia is 44. She was trying to live that soft life, but Simon wouldn't let her. So Martha Stewart from Decatur will be building her empire. And so Pampered with Portia is her sheets line. And she says she's going to add comforters and duvets to her sheet line. And she wants to do campaigns and commercials and get the brand ambassadors to promote, social media and all that. But no shade, y'all, but some shade. Now, when they showed the picture of the sheets in the package, baby, why do I get those same sheets with that little tassel on the outside, clear packaging? Child, why do I get those same sheets from my sheet guy? He sells them for $40 for 2,000 counts. I don't know how many counts her sheets are, but baby, those are the same sheets you can get anyway. Yeah. I wonder how much she's selling her sheets for. Besties, do y'all know? I would look, but I think this is gonna be long, and I'm trying to keep it under an hour. So Drew reached out. Oh, let's go back. We got to stop and do a RIP because her cousin Lonnie was sitting at the table next to the guy. Now I don't know if you are aware, besties, but Londi passed away last August. Her name was Yolanda. They called her Londi. She passed away in August of last year. She passed away 10 days before her 35th birthday, and they didn't say what she passed away from. Oof. I wonder why that's the secret. Okay. So, oh boy, her creative director says, "Oh, Drew reached out to me and she wanted to sit down. Her and Dennis wanted to sit down with me and asked if I could help her with her career because he got his footing with in music too." And so he asked, "When did Dennis become Quincy Jones?" Child, was that a key and a ha ha? Child, maybe that should be the title of the episode. When did Dennis become Quincy Jones? Now we do know Portia's boundaries with Dennis is do not film with Drew. He don't care. He do it anyway. Portia says Drew hasn't done some things for Go Naked hair that's in her contract because Drew is a brand ambassador for Portia's hair care line. And Portia says she cannot fire her because she has admin, she has administration, she has attorneys, she has HR, but she hopes that Drew gets fired soon. Now, Portia, you got who and what and what? Who is your admin girl? That girl, Lauren, your sister, or Lauren, your assistant? And who is your HR? The creative director? Londi? You? Come on now. You ain't got all them people. Now, you may have an attorney, Phaedra, but you ain't got nothing else. Girl, bye. Your mama probably is the HR. But then she gonna tell him, he was like, "Well, who should I call?" And so she said, "You got my number, don't you?" So that tells you right there that she is HR. But I don't know, maybe the attorney says she can't, whatever. Drew, finish out your contract, girl. So speaking of Drew, she's at home playing outside with the kids, and Ralph is out there. They're co-parenting, playing with the kids because they live at the same house. And so Ralph says this divorce is just ridiculous. It's long, it's messy, right? He said all he wants out of this is 50-50 custody with his kids. And so they're trying to keep this divorce on the hush hush because that's their court order. But one of the kids brought Ralph the newspaper article saying that they're getting divorced, and it had everything in this article. And so Drew was like, "Oh my goodness. Oh no, we're trying to protect them. Oh my goodness." And here we go again with grown people trying to hide what's going on in the house from their children, their young children, but just not even peeping that kids are not crazy. They're not stupid. They notice change and they can sense energy, and they're looking at facial expressions and differences in schedules, and you and dad not hanging out together. You're not sitting on the couch. He ain't at the dinner table. Like, why are we hiding this from children? They are not dumb. Anyway, she's shocked because they're not supposed to talk about it. So then they talk about Ralph being a narcissist. He doesn't believe he is one. So she's telling him he is one. And so in production, they're asking Drew, "Well, what does that mean? What does he do to be a narcissist?" She can't answer. She got to pick up her phone and figure out the meaning, the definition of narcissist, of a narcissist person. Production, like, "You don't know what that means?" She like, "Child." So she was like, "They don't care about others' feelings." And she said, "Yep, that's him." And then she says he lacks EQ. And I was thrown off by that because we call it EI, emotional intelligence. It means the same thing. Look it up. Okay, so Ralph, he apologizes to her. He said if Me being a narcissist has been your experience. I want to apologize, even though he don't believe that he is one. And so she's like, what? You apologize? And he's like, see, narcissists don't apologize. I apologize. Child, be quiet. And so I'm looking at the both of them, right? And I'm looking at Ralph like he is really handsome. He is. And Drew is cute. She's just like cute, like a 20-something-year-old cute. She just, I guess she's never gonna age. Like Drew still looks like a 20-something-year-old. And I'm sure she's in her mid-30s. She looks good. And they're a handsome couple. Too bad they can't work it out. So, Ralph lives in the basement, honey. And so he did his own little version of cribs on a video. He's giving you a tour of the lower level penthouse, is what he refers to the basement. So in this video, he shows the living room, he shows the movie theater, and a bar. Maybe he was in the kitchen or whatever, but he enjoys it. He loves it. He is cool with that. And so she's like, yeah, you got what you wanted. You can come and go as you please. And he's like, no, I wanted to be, when I got married, I wanted a family. And so she's like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I'm not trying to destroy you. And so he's like, no, it was about respect. And I'm like, no, Ralph, it's about where you went when you went to Tampa. Who is in Tampa? Who is in Tampa? Ralph, we want to know, because that's where your marriage went downhill. When your butt went to Tampa and you didn't even think so much to even lie to her about where you were. Was he gone for what, 3 or 4 days? Where were you? So he says it's about respect, whatever. So Kelly pulls up on Kenya at the Kenya Moore Hair Spa, hunty. It's brand new. It looks beautiful. White furniture. Purple must be her favorite color. Purple accents are everywhere. It's big. It's huge. It got everything, honey. Massage. Just everything, right? And so it looks great. It looks great. So I looked it up, right? Because I just wanted to know, was it still open? It is. She's only open 3 days a week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But she has 4.6 stars out of 5, so that's not bad. So child, Kelly has came with her bodyguard in tow. And both of their ex-husbands, well, Kenya's soon to be, both of their names are Mark. So Kenya's like, you got a bodyguard? What do you walk around a bodyguard for? And she's like, girl, I have a restraining order against my ex because he is whoo. So Kenya was like, he's been physical with you? She like, yes. And he threatened to unalive me. But besties, that's something, right? When your ex wants to unalive you. But guess where they were when he told her that? They were in court. Child, he wants her business. She ain't giving it to him. He can't see the kids because he has a restraining order. And she has her bodyguard because she's trying to do everything she can to stay here on this earth to be a mom to her girls. She does not want her daughters to be motherless, okay? Because this man is nuts. And she lets us know she was married for 11 years and she's had her restaurant for 8. She really wants him to live off the residuals of the income, but he's trying to take her down, right? And I think Ralph might be doing the same, but nonetheless. So Kenya was like, "Oh, girl, he trying to color purple you, not color purple you. He trying to color purple you, girl." He said, "Until you do right by me, nothing." And Kelly gonna say, just like a true Pisces, and I'm waiting to exhale him. I said, "That's right, girl." So in Kelly's confession, she says she likes Kenya. She don't see why her and Britt can't get along because Kenya is a whole vibe, right? So Kenya, she asked King, like, do you want to franchise your spa? And because Kelly is the visionary girl. She is the one. She is the entrepreneur. Okay. So Kenya is like, yeah, but I'm scared because I use all of Brooklyn's college education. I spent $400,000 on this business. And she's scared and she starts to cry. And she said, it just to hear her, she's never said it out loud. So for her to hear that she has spent Brooklyn's college fund of $400,000 on this salon that choked her up. So Kelly is the good girl. She's over there like she believes everything gonna work out. Girl, get you another one, open up another one. It's gonna pay off. It's gonna be fine. You can do it. Everybody needs a Kelly in their life. You know what I'm saying? This is how your friends should show up for you. They should support you. They should encourage you. Not sit there, be bitter, be jealous, don't say nothing, don't support, go mute on you while you trying to do things and they go mute. This is how friends show up for friends. So Kelly is like, you got this. Right. But guess what? Let me add to that, besties. But you got to have friends that's on the same page as you. If you guys are not equally yoked, you're going to get other things. But being that Kelly is an entrepreneur, she can, pour into Kenya. Oh, excuse me. So you got this, Kenya, and now you're going to have to get it because next week you're going to act a butthole and you're going to cut this check. Do friends ever get paid? I believe they do. And now you ain't got this bag. So, yeah, you really got to open up another one because now you done lost this bag. Oh, my goodness. Kenya. And you only open 3 days a week? What's wrong with being open on Wednesdays and Tuesdays? Girl, you better change them hours. Matter of fact, you need to be open every day. Why do you need to be closed? People will get their hair done on Sunday, Saturday, any day, baby. Girl, you better get some more operators in there and get to going. Child. So Britt meets her big sister, her big sister for dinner. She said lunch, but then she said, well, it's dinner now. So Miss Ma'am is late. I'm sure it's traffic and whatever. So it's been a minute since they've seen each other. Britt says it's been about a month, and that's the longest they have gone. And so she's telling her, have you talked to mom? She like, no. She said, you're so quick to block everybody in this family. And so the sister Cher says, this is my defense mechanism. Like, this is how I get along, you know? And so she was like, then she tells Britt, that she was closest to her, and if she had issues, they would work their stuff out. But now Britt puts her husband first. Let's talk about it, besties. Well, she's married now, hun. She's supposed to put her husband first. They're one. They are. But Britt, at the same time, you need to learn how to balance your relationships out. And they need to, and put the boundaries out. And then, the sister Cher, you have to respect it. Britt says, I got married and then you blocked me. And she was like, sis, I got engaged. You can't block me for getting engaged. She said, but when you get in a relationship, everything just changed. Sister, it's supposed to change. She has a man now. She's happy. Give it some time. It'll wear off. But right now, they're newlyweds. Give it some time. Because they got married in the middle of the P. I can't say the word, in the middle of the shutdown. I mean, they got married over the phone. Okay. So that had to be like in 2022, I'm thinking, right? So, and this is probably 2024. So, maybe 23. But babe, you got to give it some time. It was 24 because the dinner that they're going to tonight was at the end of May. Yeah, so give it some time, girl. And so she said, you got a family now. You didn't put me on the back burner. Well, give it. She's a newlywed. Girl, calm down. Don't you got the other sister you can call? I know you close to Britt, but give Britt time. Go on and deal with the other sister for right now. Why don't you unblock your mama? So now She said, so now when we talk, Mike just sitting there. And so Britt is like, well, that's my husband. Girl, we know. What we do know, Britt, we know Mike is your husband. You mention it every time you open your mouth, you mention it. We know, we know. Well, that's my husband. Here go her sister. That's my husband. I was like, child, give Britt some Kleenex as I'm talking. Give Britt some Kleenex, child. Let her blow her nose. Get that mucus out your nostril canal, girl. I swear it's something up there stuck. So she said, well, you gotta have her. She was like, well, do I gotta have a relationship with him too now? And it's like, well, Britt said that you and him were like brothers and sisters. You don't like him no more. She likes Mike. I don't think she's jealous. It's just that she may need to go to therapy. She's still sad and broken from the loss of her dad. And she goes to Britt. And Britt is not available because Britt is a newlywed. But Britt needs to tell her sister, baby, I don't know when the father passed, but baby, you need to seek therapy. I can't hold your hand through the whole thing. Like, he was my dad too. I'm sad too. But she has someone she can go to, whatever, kind of fill the void a little bit. Not a lot, but a little, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then he is trying to be her daddy. So it's like, Cher, you may need therapy. And so she was like, no, you don't have to have a relationship with him, but he's always around. They live together, girl. So pretty much she tells her, when you call me and you need to talk, say it. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me you need one-on-one time. If you need more of this, like them going out, just say it. Like, speak your mind. It's okay. And that reminds me, y'all, it's so funny. When I have a cousin, they've been married a good long time now, but when they first got married, it was weird because every time we were really close. And when you would call her, he in the background, or she talking to him, and it was like, but I invited it. It didn't bother me, I guess, because I wasn't mourning anyone's passing, but it's an adjustment. And sometimes, as the newlywed, you need to read the room. You got married, not we got married. Like, you still need to be that friend and that cousin and keep that bond. He doesn't have to come into all the bonds because I'm sure he ain't doing that. You're not doing that when he's talking to his friends. When my husband be on the phone, we used to be on the phone with his. I didn't want to be around listening to all that because men do a whole lot of cussing when they talk. I was quiet as a mouse, child. So she says, I'm not hating, but I do need that one-on-one time. And she's like, I love Mike. He's my big brother. Exactly. So Britt feels like, Cher takes her issues out. Cher takes her issues with her sister, Britt, out on Mike. I'm like, no, you are putting him, you insert him and making it another issue for her. She don't feel like she got to deal with him all the time when she comes to you. Okay, so that y'all need to be, you go home, Britt, talk to Mike and tell him to back up a little bit. Because I bet you some other people, but she know what? She don't have friends. So she don't know. Yeah. But I hope they worked that out. Sounds like they did. They um so she tells I just want you, so Britt gives her good advice on telling her, tell me what you need. And they said, let me know when you want to talk, when you want to go out, just let me know. And she says she knows it's hard for Cher because Cher isn't in a relationship. uh I'll let you have that, but it's just hard because she don't have her dad. I don't think it has anything to do with being in a relationship. She needs her sister. So um they agree. They say they love each other. They give each other these cute little handhold, little yes, yes, yes. And then Mike is blowing up her phone. And she says, I know you don't want to hear this, but Mike is blowing me up, telling me it's time to come home. Okay, so she tells her sister, and call me more than just on your birthdays. Okay, girl. It's like you didn't have to bring up Mike texting you. But I guess you do. It's weird. You gotta give you gotta give each other grace. You gotta be understanding that this girl is married and he's gonna come into the fold of the conversation and ask for your time, but you can't always have her all to yourself, I guess. I think you have to share, but you gotta come around. You gotta be open to it because Mike can help you out too. I'm sure he knows how to give you a hug and give you some good advice and tell you what's what. You don't know. You never know. Your brother could be, let him be your brother, girl. Give him a try. But then too, Britt, stop pushing him in her face, okay? That's your husband, not y'all husband, okay? Okay, I'm done with that. So Drew over there at the studio with Dennis and all the other folks, engineers, producers. And so they're going over her demo. They want to hear it. He was like, "You gonna sing?" She like, "Yep." So she got on a t-shirt that says, what did it say? "Don't touch me" or something. Don't touch. It's like, okay. So he wants Drew to get a little loose. He's like, you need to loosen up. You single now. Make the dudes think they can have a shot with you. She like, I'm not single yet. That ink, I ain't signed no papers. And all the guys looking at her like, girl, we ain't here for that. And so she like, child, I'm already in trouble with Portia because she don't want me filming with you, Dennis. And it's like, she sure don't. And she made that very clear. Drew tells him it's stressful to be around the girls and Portia. And he's like, really? And it's like, what do you mean, really? What do you mean, really? Dennis, you know exactly what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And so he says, why? She was in Nigeria eating fufu. And I don't feel like I need to be telling her anything about what we got going on over here. And so Drew was like, well, Dennis, can you like bridge the gap a little bit? And he laughing, talking about, well, you need to take the lead on that. So pretty much he like, no. And I'm like, what are you laughing at? And so the thing is, he's laughing because his objective is happening. He wants the drama. He wants to hurt Portia. He wants to throw Drew up in her face because Portia threw Simon up in his face. Because remember, not only did they go together and have a baby, Portia and Dennis were engaged too. He is an ex-fiance, not an ex-boyfriend. So his feelings are hurt. He in his feelings. And so he trying to get back, at Portia any means necessary. Child. And I wonder why he didn't pick Shamia. Because she sing too. But Shamia not that silly. Okay, so whew. Drew. So Drew says, um, Drew is like, well, in her confessional, it is what it is right now because I tried to talk to Portia, and it's like, Drew, you play way too much because you could have talked to Portia at Shamia's birthday party instead of them dragging you towards the end. You over there being quiet. You could have said something then. But I get it. You about to head into this divorce. Ralph is probably gonna try to take you for everything you got, and you need to make money. But let's not act like there are not other producers in Atlanta in that studio. How come you can't use Shamia's producer? How come Portia didn't stay at the table at dinner? Why don't you use her producer and leave my baby daddy alone? So anyway, Dennis, you just slimy and we'll see it play out. So Portia calls Shamia. Everybody's getting dressed for the dinner. It's the night of the dinner, and so she getting her glam started. Portia like, you just getting started, and so Shamia's like, I know, I've been in here trying to figure out how to apologize to Angela. So Portia tells her, well, she invited you to dinner, so don't sweat it. And so she like, okay. She said, you talked to Drew. And Portia's like, no, but we do need to have a one-on-one. We don't need to be talking with everybody throwing their opinions in there, because I know who she is now. So, And it's like, Portia, Your track record ain't no better. Boo boo, you straight stole your homegirl's husband. Girl, did you forget? So watch what happens live, y'all. Andy asked the ladies, was this Portia's karma going through this divorce? They said yes. Yes, baby, yes. So Britt calls Kelly asking about Mike dropping her off. She said, heck yeah, he dropping me off, girl. This dinner is in Bankhead. It's in the hood. I'm scared. Child, please. Kelly's bringing her security. So the dinner's theme is all black for black excellence. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. And the vault is nice. When you get in there with that big old gold vault door, oh my goodness. It's a vault for real. Portia was like, I ain't never heard of this vault, this bank. She said she ain't never heard of it. Kenya shows up in a green dress, and the invitation clearly says black chic attire. Kenya gonna say she don't own no black. And I'm like, truly original, you dropped the ball on that because you should have had a montage of Kenya wearing black because I think I've seen Kenya in some black. Who don't have a black dress or 6 black dresses? Who don't own a black suit? Who don't have black leggings, black pants, a black sweatsuit? Come on, Kenya. You are not Lisa Ray. Come on. Even Lisa Ray got black in her closet, I'm sure. She don't wear it, but she has it. And maybe she will if she has to. I bet you she would if it said coming all black. So Shamia shows up with her olive branch in a small olive oil bottle. And Angela says, oh, thank you, so cute. Charles loves to cook with this oil. So Shamia apologizes and wants to start over. And Angela says, likewise. So Shamia, in her old shady confessional, she's like, my love language is gifts. And she better had accepted it, or I would have told her to beat it. You know what, Shamia? You with all these Michael Jackson songs, it was Smooth Criminal. It was The Girl Is Mine. Now it's Beat It. Girl, if you don't stop with that nose, she ain't in there talking about, yeah, boy. Or did she? So, child, Kelly brings up Drew bringing extra guests to her event. And she said, yeah, who was that came with you and they stayed and they didn't buy anything? And so it was a whole like, what? Who was it? What? She brought her makeup artist, her and Portia's makeup artist. And so Kelly was like, yeah. And somebody didn't buy anything. And they was like, who did? So Kenya was like, you know, Kenya, this is why we need her. Who came and didn't buy nothing? Girl, who didn't buy nothing? So Kelly's eyes went towards Drew. They were sitting next to each other. Drew was like, don't come. No. That's not true. I bought my son a blazer. Kelly was like, I didn't see you leave my event with a bag. And I was like, why are you checking for that? Like, everybody, did Portia buy something? Because she clearly said last week that she wasn't going to spend her attorney money. Did Portia buy something? Because y'all never got to that. Uh-huh. And what if she donated? Aren't donations welcomed? Everybody can't afford Balmain. 2 of the cast members are going through a divorce. Get into it. Portia and Drew are going through a divorce, honey. Maybe they don't like them. Some people are Gucci girls, Louis ladies. I mean, Balmain might not be what they like. You can't take donations. Drew said in her confessional, and I think she was lying, because where she get $2,000 from to buy her son a blazer? Who's buying their kid a $2,000 blazer? So she shows Kelly her phone. Okay. Wait. Stop. Let's go back. When Kenya came in her green dress, she goes to Britt and gives her a half hug, right? And so Britt calls her out on it. Was like, that wasn't no hug. You just patted my back. See, that's you starting off on a bad note. There you go. So Kenya said, baby, I was hugging you without getting makeup on me. Like, I didn't want your makeup on my dress. So that's, she stands back and just gives her a little pat. Honey, Brittany clocked that little hug. Ah. So back to Portia not buying nothing. Uh-huh. So Drew gives Kelly her phone to show the proof that she bought something, but it was not a receipt, honey. It was not an invoice. It was a text that when she was talking to one of the salespeople about the blazer. So Drew said she had to order it because it was, she had to get it shipped, but there was no evidence of a purchase. So while Kelly got her phone, Dennis is sending her a text. She calls it out. Well, I don't see no receipt, but I see a text from Dennis. She's so shady because that is such a Pisces. And I saw Portia was smiling. She was smiling. So Drew corrects her, like, boo. That was a group chat, and you see them other names in this text. Don't play. So Kelly was like, yeah, you came to eat and drink. And clearly she's not used to being in these kind of rooms and she needs to do better. And I'm like, no. And Drew was over there just batting her eyes. And I'm like, ooh, Drew, your eyelashes look horrible. Did you do your makeup yourself? Where is your makeup artist now? Was he over at Portia's house and couldn't get to you? Because your lashes, your makeup look terrible at that dinner. You just look so it just looks like she did it. And that's not a good thing. So Kelly's telling her to do better. And I'm like, you need to do better. Stop coming for people that's going through a divorce. Because Portia said she couldn't spend her attorney money. Stop doing that to these ladies. If they donated $100, thank you. Charity is charity, girl. So, whew, Drew takes the smoke off of her and she asks Kenya about her hair spa. And Kenya's like, oh, yeah, my grand opening is coming next week. And I want all you guys to come and support next week. So Portia's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take my weave down, honey, because I want to get that head and scalp massage, honey. And so Kenya was like, oh, yeah, bring your money. And then Portia's like, no, I'm going to support you, but I want that for free. Girl, I know she didn't buy nothing at that event. Can y'all please, can we confirm if Portia, you know what? I might have to be the viewer at the reunion that asked Andy to ask, did Portia buy something at that event? I need to know. And I'm going to keep a mental note. Maybe I need to write it down, but I need to keep up with that. Because baby. Okay. Okay. Did Portia buy something? Because she clearly said she wasn't, but nobody mentioned that. So, so then Angela tells Shamia, okay, what's going on with you, girl? Bring us up to date on what you got going on. So Shamia's like, oh, y'all, I've been in the studio because Portia, I've been singing since I was a kid. And Portia was on the shake her head. Yep, you sure have. You got a voice you can sing. So Shamia plays her song. Child Portia over there just hating. She's talking about, that's Drew. She like, no, that's me. That sounds like a diss track. Shamia, that ain't your voice. Girl, shut up, Portia. Now everybody else is clapping and cheering for her. Everybody except for Portia. Angela talking about, oh, I love it. It's good, huh? And Kenya waving her hand in the air talking about, it's a vibe. Yeah. And so here go Portia. Are you on it? So Shamia said, your ears didn't listen the whole time, huh? And so Portia's confession, I just meant she sound like Drew, meaning she sound good. What? So Drew was like, she being shady. Angela was like, you don't know your best friend's voice when you hear it? She said, something about this ain't right. Something ain't right. So then they play the questions game, child. This is a Real Housewives favorite to get the mess going. These are undercover questions. So they ask the questions, child. These are anonymous, who we don't know who wrote them. They're anonymous. So Shamia, how did you thank your husband for receiving that Rolls Royce on your birthday? So she holds her head back, sticks her long old tongue out, and she, uses her hand to motion. She slobbed on the knob. Then she gets up, bends over, and she gave him, they had adult activities in the bedroom. Okay. And so for Angela, what is a secret that you wouldn't want this group to know? And she's like, I'm an open book. I don't know. Like, so then Portia's like, have you had a threesome? And she like, no, I wouldn't invite anybody into my bedroom. And then King was like, yep, that's right. That's right. And so she was like, because Charles, he is spicy. And she like, he sure is. And so then Portia gonna say, I heard something about Charles. And so they're like, well, talk about it, girl. What'd you hear? What did you hear? So Echo said, what did you hear? And she's like, no, we'll wait. We'll wait on what? So in Angela Jackson's confessional, I forgot to call her Jackson. In Angela Jackson's confessional, she's like, you don't even want to talk about your own marriage, you stupid bitch. And so production said, what? And she said, nothing. I think I'm gonna like her. I think I'm starting to warm up to Angela Jackson. So then King is like, child, let's move on. No, Portia's like, let's move on. So for Kenya, what color panties do you have on? What? So she gets up, she shows them. I don't know why that was asked. Maybe they didn't see no line. We don't know. Maybe she didn't have on any because they didn't say nothing about the color. All they was talking about what was up under the dress. So clearly, Kenya has big P energy. And so Portia, like, that thing's so big, it's like a wolf snatcher, like it's gonna eat our food and blah 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 blah. And Kenya like, it's quite cushiony, huh? It was like, okay, so clearly she wasn't wearing any. So Kenya had another question. She like, I already answered the question. Move on to somebody else. Don't ask me nothing else. Throw that out. Nuh-uh. This question like, why are you so worried about happily married woman? And then Britt gonna say women. So she clearly wrote the question. But she ain't no punk. So Kenya jokingly gonna say, cause it's a habit. Ooh, so they're like, well, can you speak to Brittany kindly without an attitude? And so she said, yes, I can. I could speak to everyone kindly without an attitude. And so Brittany getting all little rah-rah. She said, but no, I'm talking about me. Reread the question because I wasn't asking about everybody. We're asking about me. The question asked about me was about me. It was like, okay, girl, why did Kenya get 3 questions? Okay. Here we go. Why? You're having a moment. Oh, I'm having a moment. You are. I am. Here go Kenya. I am the moment. She like, don't forget, boo. I am the moment. Do you want to go outside? Do you need somebody? You want to go outside? So they have a back and forth, forth and back again, honey. Kenya said, you know what? Peasants cannot come for a queen. Peasants. So now that's amping her up. Peasants. See, that's why we need Kenya. I don't think Phaedra gonna be bringing this kind of energy. And Cynthia ain't. And so Brit gonna say, well, I didn't send for her because they trying to calm them down. And Kenya gonna say, thanks for using my catchphrase. It was giving, you've been watching me for a long time, Brit. You watched the show, you know who I am. And yeah. So they're getting up, they about to go at it. Angela Jackson is like, clink, clink, clink. She like this. That's it for the night. Let's go home. She like, let's get up out of here. Y'all get ready to turn this ball out, and I'm not paying. I want my deposit back. So they get up. Angela is the night. She passes out these beautiful boxes for gifts. They said F and W on them. I was supposed to look to see what that meant. I didn't know what the F and W meant. And she passed out bottles of the Black Girl Magic wine. So they got some good presents, but she should have had a gift bag with all that stuff. They just carrying keys, phones, boxes, bottles, and heels and dresses. It was like, can you give us a bag? She should have bagged it up. So all the girls are saying how Britt is really overreacting. Like she is overreacting, but she told Angela she would. She said it. She said Kenya had one more time and she was gonna go in. And here we are going in. Cause honey, what Kenya gonna do? She gonna give you one more time. So here go Britt. Oh, let me call my husband. Let me get my husband. Come get me. Oh my God, to go. I gotta go get my. Let me get my husband. I gotta get my husband. Gotta do my husband. And so she calls him to come get her, and she gets even more activated when he gets there. Now she in the parking lot, but wait a minute. Before that, when they get to the door, Kenya tells Drew, "Come here." And Drew is like, "Girl, I got all this stuff in my hand. I'm in these heels. I got this big old box, this bottle of wine. I got my phone, my keys, my wig brush, my glasses, my sunglasses, my scarf. Like, can I go to the car first and put this stuff down?" Shoot. So Miss Britt is outside with her husband, and who else was over there? Kelly. And she over there talking about she got a pow pow in her purse. And she like, girl, what? Don't play with her doing all that Hollywood ish. This is real life. Okay, so now she coming like you sound like a fan. Doing all that Hollywood ish. This real life. Be respectful. If you don't know, you know. Today you gonna learn. Today you gonna learn. So she poking at Kenya. Kenya get in the car with Portia, and I believe that was Shamia in the car. Kenya like, I'll get in the back. You can drive Miss Daisy. I don't know where Drew was. I guess she was at her car. Kenya was quiet as a mouse, honey. She probably was on her phone looking up them pictures, but she was real quiet while Britt is popping off, and Kenya tells Portia she has to go. Oh yeah. So she said, I thought Britt was talking to herself for a minute. And she said, she talking about she go do something to me. I wish she would. And so Kenya's like telling Portia she has to go. And I'm like, girl, no, you the one gonna have to go. So she said, talking about pals and stuff, she gotta go. She gotta go. And so then they see Charles coming to pick up, Angela Jackson. And so Kenya was like, oh, there go Charles. But, I don't want no problems with Angela. And then the episode ends. And that was it, besties. It was good. But I wonder why Kenya was so quiet when Britt was talking. I guess when she heard about that pow, she was like, I'm going to leave that alone. Then her husband showed up, so it probably would have ended well for Kenya. And actually, it doesn't end well for Kenya because our last sighting will be next week. And that was the end of the episode, besties. Don't forget to drop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode. Don't forget to like the video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure your notification bell is on. I've entertained you for over an hour. The least you can do is like the page, like the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 230 something. Help me out. Help a sister out. It's the last day of Women's Month. All right, besties. I will be back with another recap. Married to Medicine. Bye, besties.